Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans. Welcome to The Bunker. It's time for another voicemail. This voicemail is from an anonymous caller. Let's hear what they have to say.
Hi Lloyd, I'm 21. I woke up when I was 19 and have stopped going to the hall about a year or so ago. Actually, on January 7th last year. I have tattoos, piercings, I smoke weed on occasion, I do birthdays sometimes, holidays sometimes, all the things, quote unquote, worldly people do. But I have a friend of 6 years who's a witness, doesn't judge me at all. Um, at times even partakes in these activities with me and has mentioned that he likes some of my piercings. Uh, he says he fully believes this is the truth, but he doesn't always act like it. Doesn't plan his life in line with what he learns at the hall at all. I never bring up religion with him because I already know that the conversation is going to go around and around in circles. And I also don't want to risk losing that friendship by him viewing me as an apostate. But at times, he will bring up the religion and ask me how I feel. I tell him I don't believe, but never necessarily real reasoning why. I personally believe it's an effort to kind of quote unquote, brainwash me back into the religion. But knowing what I know, I can't go back. He also said that he would like to set up a day and time with him to talk about both our sides, why I believe this isn't God's true religion and why he believes it is. I showed him the Australian Royal Commission videos. He watched them. I told him about 1914, 15, 25, 75, and the 2000 predictions, and brought out the scripture Deuteronomy 18:22, and he even said himself he knew about 1914, 1975, but he still claims he fully believes. I know I can't wake him up myself, but I was wondering, are there any points you suggest that I may be able to bring to this discussion, such as scriptures, more recent or older watchtowers, solid evidence, court case documents, just to at least make him think a little bit more for himself and maybe do some research. Something in me tells me that he doesn't fully believe that this is the truth because he's talking to me, he's open to talking to me about all these things and accepts how I live. And I personally know this isn't the truth, but sometimes it's difficult for me to explain and to think about why I don't feel this is the truth, because there are just so many reasons. I just feel as though something I bring up could at least get the ball rolling even more for him. Also, feel free to put this on your channel. Thanks for all your help, all your videos. I watch your videos almost every day, driving to work, podcast, like every day. And it's just so inspiring seeing all the hard work you put into these videos. I appreciate it a lot because you really helped me wake up. So thank you. And again, thanks for all your help.
Well, thank you for your message. Quite a bit to think about there. It's sweet of you to say that you watch my videos every day, but I can't help but get freaked out by the idea of people watching me on their screens every day. Yeah, that just seems weird, although obviously I'm grateful that people do follow my videos to that extent. It's just strange for me to imagine it. Anyway, this sounds like you might have... Let me just be blunt. It sounds like there's a relationship going on here beyond just a platonic friendship. Maybe you don't see it that way, or maybe you do see it that way, you just don't want to say it on YouTube, which is perfectly understandable. But this guy is joining you in your activities that Jehovah's Witnesses condemn, including smoking weed. And in the recent Always Rejoice 2020 convention, if you remember, I don't know whether you watched that series, the Jade and Nita series, Jade wasn't allowed to become an unbaptized publisher until she kicked her weed habit. And he's partaking with you. So he sounds very conflicted. He's leading a double life, essentially, based on what you're telling me. And he's quite anxious to bring you round to his way of thinking. I would want to know what's so special about you in particular. Why does he need to save you? Is it because he views you as potentially marriage material further down the line? Perhaps I'm reading too much into this. I just feel as though, for whatever reason, I'm not getting the full story in the voicemail, if you'll allow me to be frank. But in any case, this guy wants you to believe as he does, but even he doesn't believe as his religion expects him to believe. What are you supposed to do? How can he claim that he is in the right religion when he doesn't believe it enough himself to follow it, would be my question. How can you be so dogmatic about this being God's one and only true religion when you're not taking it seriously? Why don't you take it seriously to begin with, and then come back to me and we can have a conversation? Because you claiming that it's God's one true organization when your behavior is not testifying to that, or your behavior indicates that you have doubts, it doesn't help your argument, to put it mildly. I think if I were in your shoes, I would be politely and kindly drawing attention to the, for want of a better word, hypocrisy or double standards of your friend's position. My main answer, whenever we're dealing with conversations with believers, my main issue would always be, is it true or isn't it? Either this is God's one true organization on earth, or it isn't. If it's not God's one true organization on earth, why should we waste any of our time with it? If it is God's one true organization on earth, where's the evidence? If you're only going to say, oh, well, this doesn't really make sense, but you've got to have faith, any religious person from any religion could say that. So you may as well just cherry pick which religion tickles your ears the most and join that one. Simply boiling it down to, oh, you've got to have faith, doesn't cut it as a reason to join a religion. Which leaves you with, again, where's the evidence? What evidence do you have to show me that, and here's what he has to prove, and leave him in no doubt at all that this is what he has to prove. He has to prove that an invisible Jesus invisibly visited earth and invisibly inspected earth's religions between 1914 and 1919, and invisibly chose the Watchtower officials, the Watchtower organization, to be his faithful and discreet slave in 1919. He has to prove that. Don't let him blindside you with this box-ticking exercise, as I've said before. Oh, what other religion uses the name Jehovah? What other religion is trying to preach in all the nations? What other religion are pacifists and don't have anything to do with war? Here's the problem with the box-ticking exercise. As I've said before many times on the channel, number one, the boxes have all been chosen by Watchtower, not independently by an external objective authority. Watchtower has chosen the criteria based on the criteria they think they can meet, or the criteria they think are important. And secondly, if it all boils down to meeting criteria, what's to stop anyone setting up an organization that just coincidentally happens to meet those criteria? I've set up an organization that calls God Jehovah. I've set up an organization that tries to preach in every country. I've set up an organization that's pacifist. You could tick all of those boxes. You wouldn't be anywhere as big as the Jehovah's Witness religion, but you'd at least be trying. You could tick all of those boxes. Doesn't make you God's one true religion, obviously. It needs to be a case of, how do we prove that God has chosen this organization? When was this selection apparently made? Now, I don't think your friend has thought this through to that degree. And here's the problem with this whole idea of trying to wake people up. I've said before, there is no magic bullet. You can't just assume that because you've woken up and have been awake for a number of years, that just saying certain things or presenting certain information or hitting them with the right court case is just instantly going to wake them up. If it were that simple, I would not be doing this right now. Well, there would be no cults, would there? Because it would be that easy to just wake people up from a cult. You just show them the information and they would have this epiphany, and it would be like a ripple effect, and everyone who knows anyone inside a cult would be waking them up, and before you know, there are no cults. There's no such thing as a magic bullet. You can't expect other people to follow your particular journey that you yourself have taken because you happen to have the honesty and courage to ask these questions. It really is down to, are they ready to challenge their beliefs? And it sounds, quite frankly, like your friend isn't ready. So my question would be, why is this such an issue? Is it an issue because you want a relationship with him? Is it an issue because you want a friendship with him? Shouldn't friendship, and indeed shouldn't relationships, be based on people accepting each other for who they are? If you are in a situation, or your friend is putting you in a situation where you need to change in order to satisfy his expectations for the friendship or relationship to proceed, is that really a healthy relationship to be in to begin with? Should you not simply be putting your cards on the table and saying, this is who I am, take it or leave it. I don't need to debate you. If you want to convince me that your religion is correct, what you'll need to do is show me evidence, and that will need to be real evidence, not just the flimsy arguments that Jehovah's Witnesses typically peddle. Anyway, I suppose that would be my answer to your voicemail. I hope some or all of it is useful. I think it's really nice that you called in, and I do sympathise with your situation, and I hope it improves in some way, shape or form. If you would like to leave a voicemail, the thing to do is go on speakpipe.com/Cedars, remembering to state clearly and emphatically if you don't want me to share your message on YouTube in front of thousands of subscribers. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Lloyd Evans channel for more such videos. And as always, thank you for watching.